Have you ever felt like you were an outsider looking into a world that you didn't feel like you quite belonged in? Listen to this. You're not crazy, but you might just be finishing up the last of the game. And I'm talking about the game as in life, earth, your last reincarnation. I kind of came up with some ways that would fit the script of this. I would say the first thing is rejecting illusions. First of all, you can have a radical, aggressive intolerance for superficiality. You can spot a narcissist, a manipulator, a fake dynamic miles away. Now, maybe in previous earlier lifetimes, you might have stayed and tried to people please, but in this lifetime, you're like, nah. You don't care about being liked, but you care about the truth. And the urge to people please is completely dead because you realize you're a human who needs validation and your illusions. The only alignment is the divine at this fucking point. Hyper isolation and protection. You're craving deep solitude. You're not lonely, but you are craving that intimacy and you're selective. Your soul understands that your energy is like currency and you don't want to bleed it dry for people who are still asleep. You stopped fighting internal battles, you started looking inward. You recognize the shadow and you recognize the self-mastery isn't about changing the world necessarily. It's more about mastering your own shadow and protecting your spirit at all costs, right? Extreme soul fatigue and rapid karma, I would say, was another thing. I've seen people carry really intense, bone deep soul fatigue, almost like a burnout almost that they go through. It's tiredness that sleep literally cannot fix. Um, but you feel like you've been doing this for thousands of years, and it's just because you have. There could have been a situation where you had a really rich, abundant, cushiony life, and then you die, and then you come back, and then you're like living a completely different lifestyle. Like you could be homeless, or you could be like just like completely opposite timelines, right? And the soul carries these memories throughout all timelines, or I'm sorry, all lifetimes, and it remembers. So when you feel certain triggers in your lifetime, for me, for instance, I am claustrophobic and I am afraid of heights. And I had past life regression readings done on me, and I was a slave in one life and I was malnourished and I died. And that explains why I don't like to waste food, and I like to make sure that it's taken care of, or whoever doesn't want the food, just take it. Like, I just don't like to waste food, right? That comes from that. I was choked out in another lifetime, and that explains why I go through claustrophobia. It's really bad, but it explains why the triggers come, or where the triggers come from. So I like to kind of share that, because when you do feel certain things, it might be because it came from a previous life and it's trauma that you never really truly healed from. But because this is your final lap, karma's moving at a lightning speed at this point. When you make a mistake, you're corrected immediately. When toxic people try to get into your way, God removes them instantly, effortlessly. You're being fast-tracked through your remaining lessons so that way you can close the book. If this resonates with you, go ahead and drop a comment, leave a story, leave a like, share. I'm dying to know what your experiences have been so far, and follow me for more content.